BlackBusters.
What's cracking with it, fam bam? This is your boy Bigg Jah, and this is the best podcast for film critique, the best movie podcast in the entire universe.
In the world, Craig.
In the world, Craig. BlackBusters. I'm Bigg Jah, and I'm with my co-host, Brother Tone.
Big Tone in the building.
Big Tone in the building.
Now, you know what? We'll do, because you're Bigg Jah, and then if I go Big Tone, people think I'm back in your style.
Oh, no. We don't do that. I ain't the only big motherfucker in the world.
This is true.
Y'all can both be big.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah.
And with that being said,
I feel
Big
better.
Fade.
Big Fade.
In the building.
Hey, I told,
I
if y'all watch the episode of Brown Sugar,
Here we go.
all right, y'all heard me tell Sister Fade, when it's time to do this film, I'm gonna have you back. So I'm sure you guys know what film it is if you watched the last episode, not the last one, but like last time we had her on the show. We are now doing The Best Man.
The Best Man.
The Best Man.
Woo!
Where no best man actually exists.
Woo!
Buckle up. I don't know what we're in for here. Right? Like, I don't know if we're all going to be on the same page.
Probably not.
Because I thought we all were going to be on the same page when we
Me
did
too.
Brown Sugar.
Yeah.
We were
Why
on.
would you think that?
We were in different
because
books.
it's such a good movie.
With the Sanaa Lathan hate alone, you had to know
Right.
you were going to be singled out.
Yeah, so there's another film with Sanaa in it. So let me just be ready. There's another film with Sanaa Lathan in it. One of my I love her dearly.
Yes.
She's awesome. But Tone doesn't think so.
It's just Hash Brown.
I mean, you have your people. Blair Underwood.
Yeah.
You had to get it too.
Yeah, that's
Blair
weird.
Underwood.
It is what it is.
If I saw him in the streets,
Damn. Not even
like
Keith.
that.
Not
like, yo,
Keith.
Blair.
Yeah, what's happening?
What's
You know what I'm
that?
saying?
Be a headline on TMZ.
Oh man. So we are doing The Best Man, directed and written by Malcolm D. Lee, starring Taye Diggs, Nia Long, Morris Chestnut, amongst many others. Terrence Howard, Monica Calhoun.
Before we get started,
All-star cast.
Before we get started, I just want to know what we're getting into here.
A lot.
Do we like this movie? Do we love this movie?
We love this movie.
Okay,
I don't even know why you love it, but
okay,
I know
let's
why I love
start
it.
from. All right, at least that's good to know that we all love this movie.
Yo, yeah.
Yes.
We all love this movie.
Right.
Where should we start with this?
Let me just start from let's just discuss the synopsis or what
the synopsis of the film.
For those who haven't watched it, which I could imagine y'all not watching this film. But The Best Man is about basically college friends reuniting.
Never a good look.
Huh. We'll get to that in a minute. Whoa, never a good look.
Mm-hmm.
College friends reuniting for one of the friends or two of the friends' wedding.
Okay.
Morris Chestnut's character, Monica Calhoun, they're getting married. That's and everyone's coming back together, coming back to New York for the wedding. Right. You know?
Correct.
And one of the characters, Taye Diggs, being basically one of the main characters, he's a writer. So all these people met in college. They all grew up to do different things profession wise. He's a writer. Nia Long's character is a
journalist.
She's a journalist. Yep.
Okay.
She worked for BET.
BET.
Did they go BET? Did
Yes,
they say she worked for BET?
Okay. I saw the BET in the background.
Yeah.
Morris Chestnut is a professional football player. He plays for the New York Giants. Lance Armstrong. And Quentin Spivey, played by Terrence Howard, is a
musician.
He's a musician, but he's everything. He's a musician.
He's the music
He's a
man.
playboy. He calls himself a pimp on the. He's a pretty boy playboy.
With
slick
money.
talking dude. He comes from money.
And he comes from money.
You know, which is why he never really has a career. He kind of like jumps around, and does all kind of different things.
A little bit ambitionless with a lot of ambition.
He's ambitionless with a lot of ambition.
That's a good read.
Put that
That's a good read.
Thank
bar.
Okay. Starting out really well.
He's kind of like the sleazy ladies man.
Yeah.
I think he's less sleazy than people might think.
Yeah, I don't think
he's
he's
just
sleazy.
regular, but
yeah,
he's just
honest.
He's very blunt and honest.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he doesn't he's comfortable in his own skin, and he wants people to be the same with their skin.
Yeah.
All right, so Nia Long's character,
Jordan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Jordan different.
Let's start with Taye Diggs. Taye Diggs is the writer, and this whole movie is based around a book that he wrote.
Yes. Unfinished Business.
A movie, a book he wrote called Unfinished Business.
Yes.
Which sounds like he's trying to spin the block, to
right.
be honest.
Right.
Like, what you mean unfinished?
It's unfinished business. And what kind of business is unfinished?
Yeah.
So he wrote this book, and it's a fictional book.
Based in part on loosely based on his college friends.
Yeah.
Or is it loosely?
Well, I mean,
I say it's fictional. Accurate. I should say this fictional because
air quotes.
Everybody that reads this book that knows him can see them in the book.
Can figure out exactly what it is.
He just changed the names.
This fictional account ain't all that fictional.
Right. So even his girlfriend, who plays Sanaa Lathan, she kind of figures out that he has a thing for an old friend.
Yes.
From back in college, only by reading her book, his book. He's never met the friend. She's never met Taye Diggs' friend, Jordan, but she's read his book, and she's like, so this is that homegirl you talking about. She's this book. Yeah. She's this character in this book. And he's like, nah, it's just all fictional. She's like, I can tell. Fictional. Right. Boom. So he goes to New York to reunite with some of the homies, and all shit basically hits the fan. Yeah. All his friends are asking him about this book and why'd you write me in this book this way?
Well, technically, not even. It was more so Jordan gets a hold of the book because no one was supposed to see it yet, right? We're told that he's at a point where it's sold. It's going to come out eventually, but this is just a very early.
No one's seen the book yet.
No one's seen it yet. But Jordan gets a copy
because she's a journalist and she's going to try to get
she wanted to get the scoop. She wanted the first interview with him.
First interview with her friend. And so she read the book and let
Q gets a copy of it.
Q get the
she starts passing it around. Yeah.
Right. And so now she read the book and now she knows what's in it and she knows what the unfinished business is.
But I don't think so this is I've got so many emotions. So when I was preparing for this movie, I started I was trying to rank the worst people in the movie. Who's the worst person in this movie, right? And I started with Harper, Taye Diggs being the worst person in the film. And then I kind of went down, So as we do this, I'm going to tell you, when we bring up a character, I'm going to give you the ranking. Okay. Now, I did not think that Nia Long's character, Jordan, was able to pick up on the fact that Taye and Mia had slept together. Nothing that she does, Quentin did. Quentin picks up on it.
Off top, though?
Well, see, so this is the whole point. So, like, okay, if I just kind of go through just like the levels of trash for some of these people. Harper, Taye Diggs, trash, super trash for even airing this shit out. Right? Yeah. So he's definitely trash for airing this shit out. Yeah. Lance is trash because
he's a serial cheater.
With the audacity. You know what I mean? Like, to be angry and upset that maybe his wife he just with blind faith and belief. We'll get onto that.
Yeah, I got a response to that.
He's trash. Mia is trash. Mia is trash.
Why is Mia trash?
Mia is trash because she let that man get to the altar without revealing that she has slept with his best friend.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Now,
I refuse to believe you.
Q is trash to me.
No, you don't.
Q is trash for me because Q has figured out what has happened and he fans the flames. He's an instigator.
No, he fans the ember.
The ember. Yeah. But it's
how was that trash?
Because it's a lack of consideration for Lance. It's a lack of consideration for Mia. Like, he just like, you know how they say, like, he just wants to, some men just want to see the world burn.
Motivation.
I think, I think this. I think Q, Spivey, his character is the black sheep. Yeah, he's not employed.
So he wants to bring everybody down to his level.
No, not necessarily. He wants everybody to see y'all. Y'all got so much. It's a couple conversations.
Y'all think y'all shit don't stink.
It's a couple conversations he says even with Harper. He's like, bro, you make it seem like you can always like talk about everybody else's situation but never your own. He says like, okay, I have my faults, right? I get it. I ain't that bad though. That's what his response is. I ain't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I am? Okay, but what about your shit?
So does Q have an axe to grind?
No.
What's his motivation?
I'm gonna show you.
Let's talk
his
about
motivation
it.
is being real, being showing your the chinks in your armor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lance Armstrong, you think that you don't have you think your wife perfect? Mm-hmm. You think that remember he was like, how you know she ain't been with nobody else? Because my dick curves to her pussy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga.
But he knows then. Like and so this and I want to get your opinions on him, but this is what like to me like takes him from just being real to being like, you're really just trying to blow this shit up.
Nah.
You don't care about Mia.
Nah.
You don't care about Lance.
Nah.
You don't care about Harper. You
trying
trying to blow it up.
It's not blowing up because if that's the case, he wouldn't care if the wedding went on or not.
Right.
He wanted the wedding to go on like a motherfucker. So he wanted the relationship to last.
Q.
Quincy.
Okay, this is my whole thing. And I think this is what was
Very
missing in the last
character.
Conversation that we had about Brown Sugar, right? Again, we don't know the motivating factors with Brown Sugar, but we know the motivating factors here.
Okay.
Like you said, Q, it was very clear. They kind of put him down. He the black sheep. He always looked at as the one who don't got his shit together. Meanwhile, all these people running around thinking they got their shit together. Meanwhile, your girl fucked on your best friend. Meanwhile, you got a crush on this woman that you never pursued a relationship with. Meanwhile, you got a whole girl back home that's waiting on an engagement ring. Meanwhile, this nigga over here getting tossed around by what is it, Shelby?
Yep.
Shelby hoe ass.
Getting now, is she a hoe ass or is she just
She's just aggressive.
No,
she's a very aggressive woman. And I love the fact that Shelby ends up with Q.
Yeah, that's on
purpose. Because those are the type of people.
Energy. Yep.
That's the type of energy that she needed.
Energy. Yep.
You know? Yeah. So I don't know. It's just so much beauty to this story because every single character, every single element makes sense. When you think about why Mia lied, why would Mia tell the truth? He cheated on her numerous times. Numerous times. She knew it was one man. All she had to fuck was one. And that matches her whole setup. She was a virgin before she started messing with Lance. He took her virginity, continued to cheat. Repeatedly cheated on her. To the degree that she's over here crying and whining. And let's not forget, Mia was friends with Harper way before Lance came around.
So what?
They was cool first.
So what?
Lance is technically... He met Mia through Harper. That wasn't his girl, and then Harper came around.
Well, it became his girl.
It became his girl, and I think that at that point, yes, he broke a code. It was messed up.
Who? Harper, right?
Harper broke a code, absolutely 100%.
So did she.
But who told Lance from jump she's a good girl? You don't need to deal with her. You be out here like that. Why are you going? You know, it's just so many motivating factors, and I think that he even liked her first. I think he liked her
That's
first.
Speculation, because we don't know that for sure.
And I think Jordan knew. That's another speculation. I think Jordan knew that they kicked
Jordan knew?
And I think that's why she was fanning the flames with the book, because she want to fuck up his situation with homegirl back home, Sanaa Lathan.
But like at the detriment of like Jordan blowing the holes, sure. like
even though because remember, Mia's her best friend. How is Mia your best friend and your nigga been cheating on you all this time and you never tell her you got yours back? You never tell her that you fucked his friend. So do you think
Mia would still want to like get with Harper, knowing that like
Jordan was fiending for that Harper dick because Mia straight up told her ass that dick was good, and we know that dick was good because we saw them flashbacks while he was reading that damn book in the bathroom.
Hilarious.
Yeah. At the bachelor
That's hilarious.
party.
Hey, so
Mia was trying to
and I had the opposite take. Like I wrote that like Mia's shit must be amazing. For like Harper to be like, I can't tell anybody, but I gotta write this shit down, right? Like
same shit. You tell everybody, like, I write it down.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's what makes him. That's what makes him to me the messiest of them all, the weakest of them all. Because like, air the dirty laundry, thought you would get away with it, you know, blowing the whole stuff up. But but you're right. But there are these other people, Quentin, Jordan, who like fanning the flames, right? Like, you know, and everything is like kind of, there's some other like innocent bystanders, right? Like, you know, like
innocent
that are not involved.
Is Candace, not Monica. I mean, not Mia.
Like Shelby is an innocent bystander.
No.
I don't think she's involved in the central conflict.
No, so Shelby is whack. I'm glad everything that happened to her, she deserves it all.
Right.
Merch. Sanaa Lathan's character.
Sanaa Lathan, yeah.
Well, her name is...
I'm tripping. What is Sanaa Lathan's character in the film?
Isn't it Whitney or something?
No.
It is... Give me
Sydney?
a second.
No, Sydney.
Robin.
Robin.
That's
oh,
right.
that's such a pretty
Robin.
name. I love that name.
Robin is an innocent bystander. She did nothing to deserve anything.
Did nothing wrong.
Now, when it comes to Spivey Quentin, he just wants everybody to keep it 100. We all friends. We all got secrets. Quentin don't have no secrets.
Right. He
don't want none of the homies. I'm gonna love you in your fucked up flaws.
Right.
That's basically where he's at with it. I'm gonna love you in your fucked up flaws. Yeah, your girl made a mistake and slept with your best friend back when y'all was in college.
Yeah.
Y'all been good since then. Nigga, forgive her like she forgave you and move on, nigga. Right. That's what Spivey's at. He don't want the whole shit to go to shit. He don't want to blow up everything. He just wants it to be that. Okay. Now, when it comes to
I see what you're saying.
When it comes to Murchie, buster shit. Yeah. He's a buster.
How's he a buster?
Because he let the woman walk all over him. A woman would be a buster if she let her man walk all over him. Yeah. So it goes both ways.
Buster.
I don't respect that. You know what I'm saying? You my nigga, I love you, but you a sucker. You a whole ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just what it is.
Do you think you have the right approach though? Right? Because for me, I understand what you said about Q just want everybody to keep it real. He want everybody to be honest. I understand that. But it's almost like it was a game to him.
It was.
You know what I'm saying? To me, he could have been he could have sat down Harper and been like, I know what you did. Right? I know what you did. You need to handle this in a particular situation. But to me, it was the cat and mouse part of it. Are you sure she's never been with anybody?
Because that's what Harper...
To me, that seems like he was playing games.
That's what Harper was doing. Harper was trying to sit him down and talk. Hey, man, you ain't my daddy. He's not my judge. He's not... Spivey's not coming from the place where from judgment. Hey, I'm here. You gotta see. You can't sit no grown man down and say you need to do this and the other. No, I'm just gonna let it plan out. I'm gonna let you get your ass kicked. I'm not gonna let the homie kill you though. Yeah. I'm gonna talk him out of. I'm gonna watch him kick your ass.
So you fuck
and
with
then and then talk and then of course and then talk the homie down from killing him.
Okay.
Whoop his ass. Don't kill him, bro. That's your brother.
Q is one of the.
He even said, "This your man, $100,000, bro. He fucked up. Yeah, whoop his ass because he deserves it.
Yeah."
Yeah, and then when Morris Chestnut dropped him and let him let him hit the ground.
Yeah,
he let him down. He saved him. Spivey didn't help him up. Q didn't help him. He walked off on like, nigga, you ain't shit, nigga. Now you take your licks and bring yourself down to reality, man. You're a human being. You make mistakes too, just like me, just like everybody else. And here's to say, if Mia, the fiance, the future wife, if that shit blow up in their face, fuck it. That's what happens when you fuck up and do some dumb shit and don't come clean.
Yeah,
it should come to light. So she's not innocent at all. If he would have said, you fucked this nigga back in college, wasn't off. So she's not a victim. That's what happens.
Everything done in the dark comes to the light.
Right. You should have given him a choice to know what happened between you and this nigga Harper and decide whether he's going to forgive you like you forgave him 100 times or move on.
But let's give this writer his credit too, because the way that they weave this story.
Yes.
And the way that everybody's motivation seems totally reasonable, believable, and it's nuanced and it's understandable. And even the fact that we have these characters who all have good and bad components to their character.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they're all perfect.
It's called reality.
But it's
like Brown
it is
Sugar.
Yeah. No, it's not. Because Brown Sugar didn't have that. They didn't have this level of depth.
Yeah.
At any point in the movie did they didn't. It's like, would you want to sit? There's no way I'm going to see an ocean and say, okay, that puddle is deeper. And that's what Brown Sugar is. Brown Sugar is a puddle. And the best man is an ocean. It's so much emotion in this movie. It's so much motivation in this movie. I never understood. You were saying you didn't understand Sydney's motivations in Brown Sugar. Why? Because they were extremely unclear. She didn't even understand her own motivations until we get to the end. Clear. It was clear at the beginning that she liked him.
Right. And why she didn't say nothing.
But what motivated that? What motivated that?
The same thing that motivates people when they don't speak their mind and share their feelings. That's a real human thing.
But what's at stake? The friendship, right? If the friendship is at stake,
right,
then why you not? It's just in this movie, in fucking Best Man, you understand the motivation. You understand why Q is sitting here fanning the flames and being an asshole. Because guess what? Y'all not perfect.
I agree.
Y'all not perfect.
I agree. And this is the last time it probably won't be the last. But
you're going to bring up Brown Sugar.
Indeed.
And it's okay.
It's the same thing with the human beings in Brown Sugar too.
Yeah.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? It is.
It's not. It's a puddle. It's a puddle. They don't hit no.
Here's why I think this movie is endearing and sticks to us, and I think we love it, is because in some way, shape, or form, it kind of resembles our circles.
You keep saying us.
Us.
Like, yeah,
I'm bringing us into it.
Yeah, I mean, I love the movie for my reasons, but yeah.
Like, this reminds me of post-college friends. This reminds me of, like, the network of people that you had in your life from, like, 20 to 30, where it was messy, right? Like, it was messy. It was secrets. It was story. It was get back. It was cues. It was, you know, it was all this different type of stuff. All of these people are so relatable to me. Like, they all seem like people I know.
I agree.
And so I think that helps me understand them. I just, upon this, and I've watched this movie, I feel like 50 times, right? Like, I love this movie. But I came into it really trying to understand.
I'm so sorry. I got something.
No, it's okay.
Throat,
some water.
It's okay.
Oh, shit.
Trying to understand every character's motivation and what I thought about the movie. I already know I love the movie, right? So we didn't have to go through that exercise. Of, do I like this movie? Do I not like? So I tried to look at this movie from a different perspective. And so the perspective that I was trying to look at was every character's motivations, right? Yeah. And what I thought about it. So like Mia, like I was asking myself, was Mia right to not say anything to Lance?
Hell no.
Like, should she have said something to him?
I wouldn't have said nothing either, but she's wrong for that.
She should have said something, right?
She should have. That's the right thing to do is that, but I wouldn't have said shit either.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like,
she's a piece of shit. By the way,
she's implicit.
She's a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
She's implicit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, she gets a pass in this film
because she's so sweet. Hey, how are you? Nah,
but that was shady.
Super shady. Now here's the thing: if Lance went and smashed Jordan back in college, he's just as shady as she is.
Right.
He's super wrong for cheating on her for all these different times. Right.
100%
wrong. No justification there. Then he stopped. And was faithful. Right. And she cheated once, and then she stopped. She was faithful. She knows about.
Wait, Lance? Lance didn't stop cheating until he said his exact words were marriage would get rid of the infidelity in him. He was still cheating.
He was using like marriage as like his Rubicon.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I'm done. Okay. Like I'm marrying her and I'm done. Okay. But we gotta believe that like all he's ever done
is cheat
smash.
up until that point. Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, and we believe that because that's what we were told.
Yeah.
So and he's definitely not a good guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not. I mean, meaning like to her. I think he's a good friend. I think he was a solid dude. You know what I'm saying? And him saying he's going to be faithful.
Lance is Captain Contradiction to me. Right?
Okay, yeah.
It's, you know,
but that's normal too.
Which still makes him likable. Like, again, I understand.
But let me finish my point about Mia. Mia is whack because she smashed her boyfriend. Instead of, here's the thing. Now, let's say your boyfriend in college is cheating all over you. Boom, boom, back to back. Then you say, okay, well, shit, I'm going to get back. I'm going to cheat on this nigga with his best friend. All right? And then be done with it. And then let him find out.
Yeah.
She smashed her homie and kept it on the low. And then married the nigga later on.
Yep.
As if nothing ever happened. Like, okay, so he got caught and you forgave him. You never gave him an opportunity to forgive you. You never gave him opportunity to see you in the light that you've been seeing him in for all these years.
Right.
That's fucked up. That's whack.
Right.
Excuse me. And that's whack. So that's why I say she whack.
Eat her up. That's what I'm wondering.
It didn't seem like it did.
I don't think
it didn't seem like it did.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. But the reason that it didn't seem like it did, and I think the one, and this movie
such
really,
a good point.
This movie really doesn't have any flaws. But I think the one flaw it has is that we never see her own up to what she did at any point.
But that's not a flaw. You mean
in the film? In the structure of the film, I think
she does it in the sequel.
That's realistic.
Yeah.
In The Best Man Holiday. Spoiler alert. Like in The Best Man Holiday.
That movie came out years ago.
Right. But in The Best Man Holiday, like
I'm gonna keep choking.
She has a conversation with Lance where basically she owns up to the part of the reason why you and Harper are not friends is because what I did, what I chose to do. But in this first film, you're absolutely right. Doesn't even seem to like
bothered.
Find her.
Hugs the nigga long as hell, long ass hugs. Afterthought. Just so long, I haven't seen you so. hug nigga long as hell.
Knowing what,
and even Lance is like, damn girl, blah blah blah. You can't. You got them all over. You all over the nigga.
Right.
Like, yeah, man. Mia's whack, bro.
Mia's definitely whack.
Mia's whack.
That's funny as fuck though.
And then everybody still coddled to her. And catered to her, didn't let her know this nigga might call the wedding off because of you. So I don't think that's. I think the funny part is what made it funny is she didn't know this whole time. All this bullshit is going on because of what she did.
No
and only person that took an L was Harper and George. Everyone took an L, but
everybody took an L, but her.
Everybody in the book,
except for Julian,
huh?
Except for Julian.
Merch.
Yeah.
He came up.
All right, but he was a loser off top, though.
Yeah, he came up.
But again, like we talked about before, does it have a character arc? Does it have a story arc? We see this character Merch at the beginning, and he's one way, and then by the end, he's made a different decision. He's gotten rid of Shelby. Now he's dating Candace. Candace is bomb as fuck. They actually have mutual interests. But I understand why, I understand why Shelby was the way that she was under those circumstances. It was clear that her and Merch would have nothing in common.
Yeah.
He would not like her and she would not like him, and they had no business being together. Right. And I think a woman is going to act like that under those circumstances. Like, she's going to be annoying and irritating. And why don't you want to spend time with me? And super anxious and needy. Because even when he's there, she probably doesn't feel him being present. Yeah. But then he meets someone like Candace. They can relate on book topics and all these other things. His eyes are open. He's like, I would probably want to spend all my time with this woman. They ultimately get married, and it makes sense. But Shelby, she's a lot.
Shelby was whack.
She's a lot.
She was a sucker.
But again, but Shelby with Shelby with Q,
it's a different story.
It's a totally different, it's a different story.
He gets a different woman from her.
Yeah, she's not going to be able to pull that with Q. Right. And in fact, Q.
That's why, and that's why Merch was such a buster.
Yeah.
Couldn't stand the dude.
Buster.
Was he a buster, or was he just a different type of guy?
Yeah, he was a buster.
I think, you know what? I hate to bring this up, but people talk about it all the time, and it's a real thing, like this alpha male versus beta male thing. I think that Merch was a beta male, and I think that Q was an alpha type of. That's not a buster.
No.
Dad's like, a buster.
We don't.
Buster, beta buster, same thing.
We don't have enough time.
It's more emotional.
Because we don't have enough time to break down alpha beta.
I think a buster is I think Merch would have been more of a buster if you letting her walk all over you and then you turning around and acting to your friends like it's something different, maybe. If you're trying to give a different impression. It was very clear. He was being exactly who he was with her, with his friends as well. When she came around and said, I want you to spend time with me, he left with her and his friends are like, what the fuck? But he wasn't trying to give it. Busters are liars to me. They lack integrity. They don't care about the truth.
No.
But that's my definition. Your definition is most likely very different. I just personally feel like he was a more emotional man, and he needed to be with a woman that was not only more emotional like he was, but also interested in the things that he valued. Shelby wasn't into books and shit like that. He wasn't gonna be quoting bell hooks to him. She wasn't gonna be quoting that to him. They didn't have that connection. So I feel like she didn't respect him because she doesn't respect what he cares about.
Right.
And how can you respect?
And she didn't respect not only what he cares about, she didn't respect that he didn't stick up for himself. That's what a buster is. A person who doesn't stand up
and
for
I agree
himself,
with that
who
too.
lets people walk over them, take advantage of him. Whether he lies to his friends about it, now that's one thing.
Yeah.
But a person, a woman, a man, if you let people take advantage of you and you allow it to happen time and time again, that's what makes you a buster. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I think he was a very nice person. A part of me would be like, I would never hang up with that dude. He's a clown. He's a buster. I don't hang out with busters. But
would you hang out with Merch at the end of the movie versus who he was at the end versus who he was at the beginning?
I didn't see enough.
He stood up to Shelby.
Yeah, for one,
at the church. I'm not going with you.
But at the same, he was a buster with Spivey too.
With Spivey?
Remember they were at the fitting and he was like, I have my own style.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
And nigga walked off. Spivey's a buster all around. I mean, Merchie was a buster all around, even to the homies.
But that was his that is a real character.
I know.
And that's what I think makes the movie even better, because you can't if all of the men in this movie were like Lance, or all of the men in this movie were like fucking Harper. It wouldn't be as good of a
amazing
movie.
Because
they did
because Merch was a buster. Merch needed to be a buster.
And like, you know, we talk about even with writing and stuff, different, you know, character tropes. And like even just like you know, the
hero,
the Jungian archetypes. Like character archetypes are a real thing. And we have everybody on the wheel in this movie. So it's like all of this, you know,
I think it was amazing.
tension and just like I agree with you that he doesn't, you know, stand up for himself, but I think it's beautiful to see someone who at the beginning doesn't stand up for themselves, and then by the end you're standing up for yourself and you got a baddie with you, and not just any baddie, but Regina Hall of all baddies.
I think the pairing makes so much sense. Like I know a lot of like high quality dudes that are not busters, that are not punks, but they're that woman that they're with is their personal kryptonite. Right? Like, you know, like they are different with that woman has the pin code and uses that shit and unlocks it and wields it in such a way that like we might be like, damn man, like when you're not around your wife, you the guy that we love. You funny, you know.
But when you're with your wife, we don't love you?
Because no, it's just but when you're with your wife, you're a different person. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like your wife shrinks you. I know a lot of people in marriages like that.
How is that not a buster?
You look shocked.
But what I'm saying by that is that like it's just like I can have a relationship with you. I have a friendship with you, right? And I respect you. You respect me. We can talk about different things. We can, you know, have an incredible dynamic. But like, when your wife gets in a situation, or when my wife gets in a situation, it fundamentally fucks up the chemical nature of who you are, and be like, this nigga's a totally different guy when his wife is around, or Tone is a totally different guy. This is a common thing.
No,
I believe it. I know it exists.
But is it healthy? I think these are relationships. Yeah,
very
I think those are relationships where it's a very inauthentic connection. You can't be who you really are with this woman because you have given her a different representative. So you're operating as a different representative, and she don't know him. So if you operating like that with your homies, she gonna be like, who the fuck is this? I thought you was a Christian man. You don't curse, you don't smoke, you don't drink, and you.
I just feel like, you know.
So, but that's what makes his character interesting, because I think it illustrates that like being paired with the right woman, what that can do for you as a man.
100%.
Right? Like he was everything that he needed to be. He just needed somebody to elevate him.
Not even that. I think embrace him.
To embrace him.
Once he felt embraced, once somebody, and not, you know what? I don't even think it's embrace. I think he just felt seen. I think that was literally it. Like the moment that she said something that he could mirror. And that's the beauty of like, you know, these types of relationships. Yeah, like he could literally be himself. He could talk about bell hooks with this woman. No, Audre Lorde. What am I talking about? Yes, he could talk about Audre Lorde with this woman and she could quote it back. And that made him feel seen. And when a man feels seen, that nigga can do whatever the fuck he wants.
I loved it.
He can do whatever he wants.
I love the fact that he got with Candy, right?
Yeah.
I just hate the fact that Shelby was able to shrink the nigga.
For any period of time.
I always feel like, I don't know, I have a thing with, if I went with a woman and I realized she was this way with the nigga before me, and I'm like, you allowed this nigga to be that person? I mean, to make you this person?
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, is I'm layered, because so I also feel like, well, I'm not gonna be that guy for you. I'm gonna make you feel better about yourself. I'm gonna help you make you feel better about yourself by being this type of man towards you. Boom.
Yeah.
But the fact is, like, for example, if a chick I'm dealing with, her ex is this terrible ass nigga, and she was with this nigga for years, I know how sometimes it is to let go. But the fact that letting go take you so long, I have a problem with that. To a point where I'm like, what type of, because you are married by the person that you deal with. So if you with this shitty ass nigga, you the type of woman that would accept this shitty ass nigga, like vice versa.
That's not necessarily true. What were you gonna say? I don't want to cut you off.
What I was gonna say is that to that point, like, I disagree, because both me and my wife were seasoned by our successes and failures, so that by the time we met each other, like all the fucked up shit that she had been through, all the fucked up shit that I had done, put us in a point where we were very familiar with what was right and wrong and what it would take to make a marriage work, right?
I get that.
So like, you know, so in some instances, like I'd be like, you know, she'd tell me about like her past. They were very open and candid. What the fuck were you fucking thinking?
Right.
But I realized it's just like that's not the woman I know. Right. Like that's not the woman that I met. Right. Like, you know, and then there's I was very selfish. Like I was very much like Q. You know what I mean? Like, you know, in my 20s. And so now like selfishness is a thing that we have to be aware of, that we talk about. Like, you know, like which version of you are you deciding to be right now? Have you gone back a couple of firmwares? Like, you know, like have you reloaded some old software?
And then
or you the guy I'm supposed to be today? So
something to keep in mind too that I think is super important is that you get a different person. Like you will get a different version of yourself in every relationship that you're in. Like you will either get a better version of yourself, a worse version of yourself, the same sometimes not too far off from the previous version, just, you know, maybe updated a little bit. But what I'm learning is it's about like even staying for really, you were talking about staying for really long in a relationship. I think that has a lot to do with, again, people's attachment styles and the way that they operate in a relationship. If they are a very anxious person and they don't know how to let go and they're dealing with a very avoidant person, which in this case, I think that Murch was avoidant, despite him being this, you know, buster, like you would say it. Despite him being this buster, he was very avoidant. A lot of the things that he did and a lot of the behaviors that he, you know, manifested throughout the movie would make somebody like Shelby feel anxious. I mean, she was calling him all the time, constantly checking up on him. Now, was she doing too much? Absolutely 100%. But with her doing too much, why are you doing that much? Because this nigga don't see you. He don't care about the shit you care about. You coming up here dressed, looking good, your hair is done, your nails are done, you got your shit, you got your heels, you da-da-da-da. He don't care about none of that shit.
So some of the behavior that Shelby was exhibiting was because of Murchie?
100%. But it didn't have to be Murch. I think any man with her that had avoidant qualities would have brought that version of her out.
How was he avoidant to her? He was catering to everything.
Is him avoiding telling her how the fuck he felt. That's avoidant. You can't tell me straight up, hey, leave me the fuck alone when I'm out here with my friends. Like that's a man has to. That is avoidance to an extent. So him being unable to tell her how he truly felt and how she was making him feel was in its own way, not even in its own way, was a version of avoidance. And I think
that's why she was acting the way she was.
100%
all the time.
Because when we see her later on with Q. In the Best Man Holiday, it's a totally different experience. Why? Because what's Q gonna do? Say exactly how the fuck he feels every single time. Out of all of the men in, I think, the entirety of the Best Man franchise, Q is the most securely attached. He may be, he is the most securely attached. He is the most securely attached man in The Best Man. And that's why I think he was pulling people's fucking cards the whole movie.
That's
because
what I'm saying.
Securely attached individual gonna pull them motherfucking cards and say, hey.
That should be in the byline of the film.
Yeah.
And thank you for saying that, because I think you kind of framed Q in a very important way. Out of all the characters in this film, Q was the one who best knows himself.
He was the best man. Maybe Q was the best man.
He's the most self-aware. He's the most flaws and all, right?
And the best man doesn't mean perfect man.
Nope.
It's the best man. Like who?
The best version of you.
I feel like he didn't seem...
That's very weird.
He didn't seem cutthroat. He didn't seem he wasn't going behind the homie's back and doing slick shit. He wasn't like, if he felt some type of way about you, he gonna let you know right then and there. And he
wasn't scared of nobody. He got big ass Lance him the fuck up over the card table.
And he sat there
staring him straight in the eye. Nigga, what you gonna do?
Not even
Lance didn't even fuck him up because he put the nigga down.
Because Lance is potentially, Q is potentially like the mirror.
Yeah.
And Lance is able to see himself in his boy. That's why he let him down. I gotta go piss.
What you gonna do? Fight your damn self?
This is so interesting. Oh my God.
And you know, it gets crazier because if you really in the fucking, like, if we talking about this as a film, can you do me a favor and pull up Jungian archetypes, JUNGIAN? Because the reason I feel like Quincy and fucking Lance had beef is because they're on opposite sides of that character wheel there.
Okay.
So if you go to that character wheel, just hit images, there we go. So if if Lance is supposed to be this most relatable character, right? Like he's the everyman. He gets along with everybody. He's that nigga. Like he's God family football. Who over here on their spiritual journey, looking for freedom, exploring, doing what the fuck he want?
Q.
And they fight. And he can't beat him because they the same nigga. They on the same part of the spectrum.
It's interesting. Like it. I've seen this movie a bunch of times, and I got this weird theory in my head that, like, as much as I thought that Q was trying to set everything on fire, now part of me is like, was he trying to fix everybody?
Man, bro.
He was trying to put the fire out.
Was he trying to fix this before it blew up?
He was trying to fix everybody by letting everything work out. He never told nobody what to do. He never judged nobody.
But we can all agree that, like, the term that I used earlier, which we all kind of tepidly agree with, was the Q was fanning the flames, right? Instigating to a certain extent, like. And I always thought that was
shaking the
I always thought that was antagonistic. I always thought he was being antagonistic. But now I actually view a world where, like, he was like, all of these motherfuckers have no idea who they are and what they're doing, and everybody needs a reality check.
Boom.
And I'm gonna get everybody aligned.
That's exactly what he was doing.
You're right. Like you said, he shows up, fuck Harper up, don't kill him.
Right.
Right? You know what I mean? Handles that piece. Handles kind of like everything. And then if we fast forward to the sequel, he still plays that role in the sequel.
That's a sequel, a whole different thing.
Alert.
We gotta talk about the sequel later.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he had his one-on-ones with Taye, with Harper.
Yeah, with everybody.
Over the ledge, he was like, hey, bro, it's your man, 100 grand, bro. You can't kill him, bro. That's your partner.
What
That's
you
your
doing?
brother.
Yeah.
What you doing, man? Let him up. Let him up. Let him up. Murchie. There was a nemesis back and forth. Bite it, Spivey. Grow it, Murchie. I mean, then he's sitting there talking to Shelby, and over Shelby's shoulder is Q over, like, trying to coach him, like, man, you know what I'm saying? And then he finally does good. Spivey, Q out there looking like a proud father, like,
now,
damn.
Let's really get into it.
He was the one trying to put things together. He wasn't telling nobody what to do. He was trying to make sure that people. He was trying to hopefully people would get their shit together and all the shit would uncover. And maybe instead of fanning the flames, he was trying to let everything hit the fan.
was trying to sage it.
You guys.
Now let's get real crazy, right? For all the filmmakers listening to this podcast right now, watching this podcast, whatever you're doing, I know you know. Pull up your archetypes. Look at your characters. The reason that this works is because what's right here next to the Explorer? The sage with all his knowledge. So at any point, he can go between all of these things. And at any point, every man can look like a fucking clown. At every point, the lover can look like the fucking hero. And at every fucking point, the artist can look innocent as hell. The ruler can be all the way over here. It's all of this shit that plays out in these characters that's so fucking beautiful.
You guys have fundamentally changed my opinion on Q. As far as this, as it pertains to this movie. Like, I thought that, like, I was confident in what I thought was happening. This conversation, you guys have changed my mind. You guys have changed my mind about that particular character and his motivations. I don't think you guys will change my mind on the fact that Lance is a uber hypocrite.
100%.
Okay.
He's a hypocrite, right? Okay.
He contradicts himself. But I think everybody in the film contradicts themselves.
He contradicts himself in what? Being mad at Harper for smashing Mia? Okay, here's the thing. This is why it's not as contradicting as I believe you guys think. It's this. He smashed 100 women, right? On Mia. Mia smashed his best friend, one dude. It's not that he's right or he's not as bad as what she did. But I can be pissed off. I could not like the fact that my girl cheated on me with some dude up the block, down a different building, another college, whatever. One on the day with a guy I slept with him. That's one thing. But not my best friend. Not my best friend. Not my best man. That's different. If my wife, God forbid, cheated on me, and on some get back shit,
right?
I will feel like, damn, she got me back with some random nigga. Who is he? This is some guy at the mall. All right, but if you smash one of my niggas, oh yeah, that's different.
You want to know why he forgave it? I think why I truly.
I'm not saying he shouldn't forgive her.
Right.
I'm just saying why he was so upset. And not like, remember he was like in the bathroom, he was like, man, I would just have to deal with it. I would have to deal with it. But when it's my best friend, nah, I'm not dealing with that. Now, it took some praying. It took a lot of breaking shit and whooping his ass for him to settle down and forgive his new wife.
Because he had to think about, this is the really genius element of the way that this movie was written. And it's Malcolm D. Lee, right? Yeah. Malcolm D. Lee ain't no fucking joke. He is not no joke. He deserves his flowers because the fact that everything aligns with these characters. Her character is supposed to be innocent. That's why she ends up with the hero, you know, the guy, family football guy. And the innocent is not going to make a decision that matches that of a hero. They're not going to make, they're going to have cowardice. That's literally a part of their dark shadow energy. The innocent, if you go to that, you know, Wheeligan, the innocent person, they're going to make innocent decisions. It's like a child. What do they do when they take a cookie from the jar? They hide their hands. What do they do when they accidentally break something? They run and hide. Like, that's what they do. And so it makes so much sense that her character did that. But more importantly, the fact that, you know, she was supposed to be this almost like virgin-like entity in this movie, which that alone, like, virginity is not as big of a deal as people make it out to be. But let's just say for the sake of this, you know, movie, that it is a big deal in this world and it is a big deal to her. And with it being a big deal to her, she's lost it to this man who has continuously shown her that maybe he was not the best choice to give that to. And she doesn't seem like the type of girl to be running around getting attention from a whole bunch of guys. And if she does, she doesn't want that attention. She seems like a very loyal woman. She's pretty innocent. But she has this friendship with this other man that existed prior to her meeting the person that she gave her virginity to. Now, if you think about the motivation behind that, it's genius writing for this to, one, the fact that this is written by a man, but he was able to pick up on just the social acumen of this woman is going to fuck the next closest man to her, and the next closest man to her is literally this man. I don't think it was so much that it was his best friend, and maybe it was. We could leave it to her just being petty and evil.
Only reason why I wouldn't think I agree with you.
Okay.
I'm going to finish your point. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would think that it was petty and evil if it were not for the fact that it's very, very clear that she does not get close to a lot of men. Like, it's just not in her. Based off the
storyline, she would. We don't know who else she was close to, but it didn't seem like that. And it's not like this is my boyfriend who I'm getting back on. I'm getting back at my boyfriend by sleeping with his best friend. And I'm getting back at even if she wasn't getting back. But if she is going to step out, the relationship was too strong. The relationship she had with Harper was a real relationship before Lance came in the picture. So
100%.
It's not like she's smashing my boyfriend's best friend. I'm smashing another friend of mine, like you said, another guy that's the next guy that's closest to her.
Somebody she confided in previously, before Lance came around.
But see, what I'm trying to recall is the excerpt, right? Because in the movie, we get to read what Harper wrote. Right? Like we and what Harper wrote when it talks about Mia's motivation, it was on some get back. Right?
But that's from his perspective.
Yeah.
And I think he is getting back. This is the crazy shit. This is why it really is a solid movie.
If they really wanted to go deeper into this film, like you said, he could be like, bro, I let you take Mia off the market when really you didn't deserve her, bro. It could have been something that she could have been for me.
He saw Mia's attempt at closeness from a man that she had been friends with for a long time as get back for Lance. But at the end of the day, that's the way that you're going to see it, because I think that he's jealous of Lance. And I think when they're in the church, even there is a conversation between the two of them where he admits that he's threatened by and intimidated by Lance. And he's intimidated by his love of God. Like, even that was a lot for him. And I think that Harper's character is incredibly insecure.
Oh my God!
Oh, super!
Incredibly insecure.
Yeah, it's apparent.
Yeah.
So before we get into the awards, there's one other thing that like you guys are the guys to talk about as far as this is concerned. Was Harper's proposal at the end genuine?
I think it was. It might not have seemed like it was, but I think it was, and because nigga, we just made up. You just fucked up this morning. Now you proposing to me. Yeah. You proposing to me because I'm mad at you. That's how it could be seen. But also it could be like I think she was down for him. I think she showed even when she made the statements that when they was in the tub, hey, I could do this forever. and he got tripping. And he started tripping. She said, no, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying I love spending time with you. She didn't even live with him. She wasn't trying to move in with him. She wasn't trying to say, I need you to marry me right now. She's letting you know, I love you and I want to be with you forever. And I can see myself doing that. Now it's up to you.
Question for y'all. How do you feel about this hot take? Was Sanaa's character Robin in this movie basically the female version of Q?
No.
Y'all don't think so?
I don't think so.
No.
Think about what she was saying the entirety of the movie. Think about the ways that she pointed out the shit with the friend. Think about the ways that she even was very honest and direct about how she felt with him.
I get what you're saying. I think her perspective, I think her
willingness to be honest, her willingness to face things. Like most women, if they knew that their dude...
No, this is my bad.
If they knew that their dude had just almost cheated on them, literally just a couple nights before, if not the night before, and then just turn around and they have to see that girl the next day, she sees Jordan and she can still...
She took it like a G.
She's
a G.
On the chin.
Oh, for
but
real.
What type of person does that? A very secure person that knows it ain't shit wrong with them. It's something wrong with that nigga. If he's doing shit like this, ain't got shit to do with me.
And to add to that, you might be right. Only reason why I said no is because she's not out there fucking with all kind of dudes.
Yeah.
Q was a playboy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But another similarity was they were talking about, oh, is your wife a dentist? Oh, she's a caterer. Oh, she does so many different things, and she found out what she wanted to do in life, and that's catering.
Yeah.
Same thing with Q. Q was the type of dude that, remember, first it was photography. Now you want to write books. Now you want to do So they're very similar in that way. So
very similar characters.
That's a good point.
They're the same type of character, and that's why when the bad guys and I see why you thought it was a more antagonistic approach because the bad guys were closing in to an extent with him trying to fan the flames and with her saying, "Hey, do you want to marry me? Or are you interested in this woman that you had a relationship with in college, or like what is the deal here? Because I'm not understanding." And she didn't know which character in his life from the book was the real, Mia.
She figured it out. She's like, "Oh shit, nigga, what's the sum of the K?
Dang.
Kendall,
yeah.
Kendall. So, yeah.
And she was never threatened. She never became insecure. She never became worried just because he was doing his shit.
I'm glad you told me.
Yeah.
And that was
she
it.
was solid.
She was a very solid woman. And I think that's why he proposed, because with him having the avoidant ass style that he had with relationships, and even the fact that he tried to fuck over his friend because he was jealous, I truly believe that Harper was jealous of Lance.
Yes.
Like he wanted to be Lance and he wasn't Lance. And not only that, but like you on your high horse about the fact that this nigga cheated and talking shit or whatever. But look what she was just trying to do the other night with Jordan.
Now speaking of he wanted to be Lance, this is the perfect quote line he said in the movie that lets you know that you're right. That nigga said, "Praise the Lord and pass the panties." Hey, I know
that's a bar.
The scene where Lance and they were in the little writing room. When Lance, right before Lance met Mia, remember he was like, "Man, I had the twins. Man, I had two sets of twins." And blah 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 blah. He's like, "Man, you had two sets of twins? Yeah, man, they had big old titties." He was like, "Damn, praise the Lord and pass the panties."
Yeah,
that's what Taye did. Harold, meaning like, "Damn, I wish I could be in your shoes right now."
I wish I could
pass the panties. Mean like, I wish I could be that guy. I mean, and pass me that blessing too.
You live in the life I want.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He said, praise the Lord and pass the panties.
He wanted to be him.
Right.
He wanted to be from a very early age, and that's why he couldn't see Mia's attempt at closeness.
Now you want Mia, a close friend of mine? You want her too? Nah, you can't have her, bro. Yeah. Nah, and then when he got her,
he was hating from day one in that situation.
At first, I wouldn't even call it hate. I'm thinking he was protecting his homegirl. I got homies. I got homies for sure that's out there, especially when I was in college. I got my homegirl who was one of my platonic homegirls.
Interesting.
Some of the homies were like, "Hey, what's up, yo, Josh? That's yours." And I ain't me. That's the homegirl. Nigga, hook me up. Nah, nigga.
Because I already know how you do.
And you know I know how you get down, bro. I love you, bro. You my bro. He was at my wedding. Yeah. I was like, bro, I'm not hooking you up with my homegirl, bro.
I mean, it's
because you my dog. She's my dog too. If you do something, man, I'm not gonna do nothing to you, but I'm gonna feel some type of way about you disrespecting the homegirl, because that's how you do when it comes to women.
It's crazy because I think about, like, to Harper, what having Lance as a best friend meant to Harper on campus, right? Like, like Lance is the football star
that he's writing about,
right.
every single week.
Right. You know, and we're friends and buddies. Right. And so I'm sure, you know, for the most part, Harper is probably existing in Lance's world.
Right.
And when Lance comes into his world and just
you takes the baddest chick in the newsroom,
takes the one
in his world,
in his world,
literally
comes into his world and plucks probably the thing that's most interesting,
right?
And we're gonna be friends, yeah. Like there's some deep rooted,
he might not even known it. He might not even known that I'm hating. He might not even know.
He might not even known that I'm hating.
I'm finally so
because it goes to like, why would he write it in the book?
It's almost like
why would he air that out in the
purge?
Book?
He wanted to purge
because let's think about, you know, when a person does something that maybe is not a good thing, but they're proud of it, right? They know that that he's proud of it.
He's proud
That's his only one up on this man.
No one knows.
But he can't enjoy that one up on that man because that man doesn't know it.
Now your shit is coming out. It's almost kind of like how, like, I know this is a hell of a comparison. I know it's hell of a comparison. But the way that like criminals return to the scene of the crime,
I was about to say that,
or that serial killer sometimes leaves a clue because they don't want to get caught,
off of it.
but they need to know
it's nanny boo boo
that the body is there. They want people to find the body.
And he saw this man get all these bodies. All these years from college to who knows how long.
Your bitch.
And you don't know it.
I got her.
And you know, there's a fucking scene. There is a fucking scene where they're in the church and he's like, you know, I could have killed you the other night and I could do it again right now. He was like, well, what would that do? Every time I hear him say, well, what would that do? I hear right after that, I hear, I already fucked your bitch, bro.
Fucked your bitch.
Like that's what I hear every single time. They didn't write it in the script.
And what if that was in the lines and they cut it?
I mean,
what would that do, Lance? I already fucked.
Your bitch chose me. Now we can handle this like some gentlemen.
Literally.
We can do some gangster shit, nigga.
Have it your way.
Right. Your bitch chose me.
Wow.
Man. Come here.
Sick.
Wow.
It's sick. He got a sick satisfaction out of knowing that he had that one up on him. But it wouldn't really feel like a one up until that man knew. And I feel like it was almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy
Jordan
that he
said,
had.
You're sick.
You're sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
And so do we believe, God damn, dude, when this is like totally new movie.
Yeah.
Because do we believe that Harper never even planned on really being in Lance's life? That he kind of like was parachuting in? Because the thing is that like he had to know. He had to know that once he just didn't want this to come out while everybody was together. But he had to know, because why was he trying to hide it so much, right? He knew that when people read it, they would figure it out.
This is like when, think about how when a person cheats and they don't tell their partner flat out that they cheated, but they'll start accusing the partner of cheating. I think this was his version of that. He's not going to flat out tell his friend that he fucked his soon-to-be wife, but he'll write a book about it.
Harper's the worst.
And he'll anticipate, because he's so insecure, because he's so instrumentally broken on the inside, he'll think that his best friend of years would have no interest in his book because he's so small in comparison to Lance.
Boom.
He's so unimportant.
Look at Jada Faye down in the back. Pull him back. Yeah, pulling him back.
He's so unimportant. Why would he read
Harper
it?
is the
She
worst.
got the chopper out right now.
Harper is the worst.
Yeah.
And so is Jordan.
Yeah.
We ain't even talked about
Jordan.
Jordan.
Shit.
He literally said, my girl is coming in tomorrow morning. And she said,
can you fuck me tonight?
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Give me a kiss.
Damn.
Yeah,
Jordan ain't shit, man.
She wasn't shit. But Jordan, it makes, again, this motivation thing, right? With her being the career woman that she is and having all of these aspirations and getting very close to it. I think there was a scene where they were talking about her possibly working with Oprah at some point, if I recall correctly. So I think she wanted something that, like, a lot of people have these like relationships with people where they just think, oh, what if? And the what if for them would have been gross. They would have been, you can see in the ways that they operate just individually that they would have had a horrible relationship.
They would have had a horrible
relationship. The first time that he said some shit to her that she didn't like, she knocked the nigga upside the fucking head.
He deserved it though.
Yep.
He deserved that
but at
shit.
the same time, in real life, you can't be hitting on nigga when
but you know what? But you're right. That scene where he comes back after he gets the black eye and he's in the house is an example of what their marriage would have been like.
100%.
Right?
Yeah, he would have said some shit.
Like blame shifting. This is your fault.
Two very avoiding
very
ass
clear.
people.
Hey,
very
perfect for each other. Toxicity.
You would have thought they were perfect
Toxic
for
love.
each other. But I think that's even another thing that he realized and why he ended up proposing to Robin, because ultimately he saw that the things that he's lusting after, the things that he wants, not only is his envy of his best friend completely and totally unfounded, because even his best friend is flawed, and he still somehow found a way to make himself feel worse about himself than a friend who's been fucking other people for centuries at this point.
And I don't believe Harper learned his lesson. There was no, and I'll relate it to a personal experience. There was a girl that I was dating once, and I liked her. I liked her, but I wasn't in love with her, and I didn't think I wanted to be with her. And one night, like, we went out to a party, and like, I'm kind of like a social butterfly at parties, right? Like, you know, like, I'd like to talk to a bunch of people. I like to mingle and network. So if you're my date, like, either you're going to have to be on my hip or you got to better find somebody to talk to, right? Anyway, she was very upset that I wasn't spending any time with her at this party and stormed out of the party, and I stormed off chasing her, and she was very upset, and she left. And in that reaction, I asked her to be my girlfriend.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? Like,
damn, Tom.
Not necessarily because I wanted her to be my girlfriend. I just needed a space for us to be.
You wanted to reestablish the connection.
Yeah, I needed, like things that I had always almost blown this up. The next lily pad, the next safe spot was, let's be in a relationship. So for me, that's a lot of what Harper's situation was. Is I just got out of this shit that I almost blew up. Getting married to you is the safest place for me to hide. I haven't learned anything. Right?
Do you think it was the safest place for him to hide or the safest place for him to be seen? Because I feel like Robin saw him. I really do.
Why do you think that he learned his lesson?
See, the thing is that, and again, like, I know I'm adding things to this film that I shouldn't, but I start to think about what happened in the sequel, right? And so when we look at the sequel, we look at, like, okay, some lessons were learned, and there were some lessons that were definitely not learned. And honesty, and knowing oneself and being candid and honest about who you are in your situations are things that Harper did not learn even in the sequel, right? So that's why at the end of the movie, I don't see a redeemed man. I see a punished man.
You can't, but you can't, because of the sequel. You can't. We talking about
like, I feel like
we got to take it from what
I feel like the prayer was pandering and manipulative. Pray with me, brother. Right?
That was for sure. I mean,
that was manipulative.
So even when we get to the end,
that's okay though.
Even when we get to the end, Harper is still manipulative. Even when we get to the end, Harper is still not keeping it 100. Right? Like, he delivers the speech. It's a good speech, decent enough. But I do not feel that at the end of this movie, Harper is a redeemed man.
Damn, y'all niggas.
I don't think you can redeem something that started off. And this is back to your point about Q, because you had said earlier you thought he was fanning in flames, and now it feels like he was trying to put it out.
Yeah.
If it started out a fire in the first place, anything after that point has to be trying to put it out.
What did Harper learn?
I feel
what did he learn? Like, you're really good at going from Alpha to Omega on these characters, right?
Well,
we can talk about everybody else's transformation. What was Harper's transformation?
So in the beginning, when Robin tries to establish closeness, I could do this forever. Right. They're in the tub. It's a beautiful, lovely scene. And you would think a man would respond to that with someone like Sanaa Lathan's titties on his back. I could do this forever too. This nigga freaks out. It makes him uncomfortable. He distances himself. then by the end of the movie, what we find ourselves in is him doing the thing that establishes the closest connection I think you can establish with a person, ideally speaking. If you're going into a marriage, it's ideal that that's going to be a very close or as close as you can get, hopefully. Not every marriage is a testament to that, unfortunately, but you would hope that that's what he's trying to establish. And that's a really big jump. And I think that the writer,
if you believe it,
if you believe it, and I think the writer Malcolm D. Lee did a very great job of taking him from a place of complete distance and inability to love fully, to feel safe loving fully, to a point where he can get down on bended knee in front of everybody that just saw him at his absolute worst, knowing that he was on some foul shit, knowing that he was doing dumb shit, and profess his love to this woman who just at the very beginning of the movie was incapable of sitting alone in a tub and saying that he wanted to do that forever.
Full circle.
And he is a narcissist.
He's a narcissist.
Super narcissist. And on top
that's
of
what
that,
a narcissist would do.
And on top of that,
because this somebody else wedding day. What the fuck?
That's, and that's why I'm not sold on Harper, because how convenient, right? Like after being the root cause of all of this bullshit, to now divert from, this motherfucker ain't shit, to like, oh, we happy for him, right? Like, I do not feel better about Harper at all.
You just feel bad for Robin.
I feel bad for Robin.
Because what the fuck?
But everybody else gets what they need out of it. And it's very clear. Every single character transforms. I feel like Harper got caught. I felt that Harper got help. And I felt that it worked out in his favor, that everything worked out. But I do not feel like Harper's a better person coming into this movie.
In fairness to Harper's character, what were you going to say?
He changed. We don't know how it took him less than 24 hours to make a decision. Yeah. I think he's on the. I mean, is he a better person? You don't become a better person necessarily in the 24 hours after getting your ass whooped. But I think, you know what I'm saying? I think what him praying, him acknowledging God at the end was showing that he didn't have to say that. At that point, they were already married. He didn't bring up God. He brought, pray with me, brother, because he knew that's the only way. It might have been the only way that Lance turned around and was stop doing what he was doing. Yeah. So later on, after in the Best Man Toast, him saying about what he said about God, that's letting us know, okay, he's on the right track. He's at least discussing it. And on top of that, here's the thing: he's a control guy. This whole thing for him is control. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's why Lance was like, "Man, you can't control me." You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of the characters in your book. Him getting down on bending knee and asking her to marry him is taking the control away from him and giving it to her in front of all these people. Or that's a step in the right place.
Or controlling the narrative.
Yeah, but you can't control the narrative. You
get what I'm saying? Like, like attempt to. It's first of all, he already knew she'd say yes. Not
at that point.
I don't think
not at that point.
I don't think he was.
She was about to get back on the plane.
Yeah, I don't think it was certain that she would say yes.
It just, to me, like it strikes with narcissism, right? It's a great way to deflect from being guilty, right? Like I do this with my wife all the time, right? Where like I need to sit in the punishment chair because I did some shit, but like I'll bring up a movie that we love. Like let's focus on something else besides
my punishment
and what I did, and let's try to turn the page.
That's not inherently narcissistic, though. I think there's a certain level of
to do it at somebody's wedding.
Well, that is inherently narcissistic. But I think what you're describing is, trying to again reestablish connection. I think that it was a very extreme way of him attempting to reestablish connection with Robin. Yeah, like it didn't have to be that big.
Proposed that early.
I don't think it was. Yeah, like because who are you doing this for? Is this for Robin? Or is it for, and I think what you said about like the perspective of like everybody else watching, like, is this for them to see?
Yeah. I think it goes into the narrative. I think it goes into that control thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, he was trying to control the narrative.
I can control this.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of time left to do some awards. Can we do some awards real quick?
Man, let's do it.
let's start with the MVP. Who wants to go first? Who's the MVP of this film?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Quentin Spivey.
Is this on acting or just can we do character and acting? Okay.
No, I don't think we should do like not MVP on acting. We're talking about this in the story.
Morris Chestnut did such a good job though. That's an
amazing job.
He did so good. I believed the tears in his eyes. That nigga was mad that somebody had fucked her. Like he was sick.
The rage, the smoke out of his ears.
Yes, he played that shit well.
Yeah,
but Quentin Spivey for me, for sure.
Yeah.
And this is one thing I want to mention, the fact that he wasn't trying to burn the situation down.
He wasn't.
He was trying to untangle the ropes. He was tugging at the ropes.
Y'all have learned me up on that.
You remember, look at the last, when they were getting married and Mia and Lance was up there and they kissed and got married. Spivey was in tears.
Yeah.
He almost on some Thanos shit.
Yeah.
It worked. I finally got my friends to untangle all the untruths and look at everybody for their naked flaws, and we still love each other and we still here. I think those are tears of joy.
Man.
I think he is the MVP for sure.
And I think that meant a lot to his character too, because if you think about like him from beginning to that end scene, that almost probably felt for him like a validation of, despite the fact that these people will sometimes look at me like this or that, or I'm all over the place and blah, 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 blah. They tease him.
A bad habit.
It was probably a part of him wondering, like, are these my niggas for real? Because the way y'all, like, if this is true about me, do y'all really fuck with me? And the way that they really fucked with each other once everything was exposed and off the table, maybe he felt like him being that exposed was okay now.
It's very rare that I feel like I've been checkmated. Right, I'm usually very stubborn and very dogmatic with my opinions, you know. But you guys have annihilated my theories. The MVP is clearly Q, clearly Q. I'm going to end up watching the movie again,
right?
Because I want to see the character through the lens that you guys talked about on this film. So Q's my MVP.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And just from an acting perspective, because y'all know I'm going to say Q too. I just think he does such a good job of playing against what people anticipate. Because the fact that he was trying to ultimately get everything to work out, despite all of the lies, all of the, fuckery that was going on in the mix, he played his role so differently. Than what, because some actors, they see the end of a script and they'll play it knowing what that, like, you'll see it in their interpretation of the character that they know that's where they're going to end. You don't know that's where you don't expect him to be crying at the end of the movie.
I don't think I remembered that until I was like, this nigga, but he was his face is done.
Yeah,
and
he cared.
I started thinking about this. What they said in the second scene that he was ever in the movie, where Harper and him were talking about. He said, "Hey man, I don't like what you said about me in your book, bro." He says, "Me not having my mom around don't have shit to do with how I deal with these bitches."
Yeah,
and like that.
Was so
and I'm
funny.
thinking to myself, and then later on, he was like, "He don't think monogamy is real. It shouldn't exist." Fast forward to him crying at the homie's wedding when they say "I do."
Yeah,
and it's like his character to me is so layered.
Oh my god,
you know what I'm saying?
And
you can spin off and do a whole nother movie on that dude and his relationship, and finding love and shit like that.
That's what the third one. That's what the series is about.
The Best Man.
Did you guys know that they're going to series with this?
They are.
No, really?
Yeah, Peacock. So Peacock green lit
with different actors.
No, the same ensemble is coming back.
Wow,
they tried to do a second movie for years. And it got delayed and got caught up in development. They did the second movie. They didn't want us to do a third movie for years. But ultimately, they decided that instead of doing the third movie, they're going to do a season. So it's going to be a mini-series on Peacock.
I really hope that this mini-series turns into a longer format thing. I know that a lot of the cast has moved on to different ventures. But at the same time, like, the only reason that they can do something like this is because of Malcolm D. Lee's ability to write such layered characters with so many different, like, there's just so many places you can go. And he's a genius.
And I don't think nobody is bigger than this potential series that's about to happen.
Yeah,
like everybody, I think all the cast needs this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I
not in a bad way.
I mean,
but like Morris, Terrence Howard's
star has definitely come back to earth.
Yeah,
right. Like you're like he's not working.
Iron Man.
He's not working.
That's what I'm saying. Need this like.
I think everybody needs this.
Yeah. Only the person that's working the most is Murchie. Yeah, I see him in all kind of shit.
Yeah.
But Taye Diggs, I mean, he's on All American, so
he is on All American.
So maybe, but
even still, he's like, man, we need this.
Yeah,
this is the one you come back to.
Yeah, for sure,
because it's the one that reestablishes everything.
He's involved. Yeah.
Everybody's still involved. Let's do least valuable player, least valuable LVP,
least valuable. I mean, no. She was very valuable because she helped the storyline for Murchie. There would be no Murchie without Shelby. He wouldn't have to grow balls without him having a woman like Shelby.
That's true.
So I would say Candice, the stripper chick.
But that's how he was seen. That's the same thing.
We said least valuable. Nothing says he wasn't valuable.
I think, nope, Shelby's still the least valuable in my opinion because we could have seen Murch. We did see Murch's issues illustrated throughout his friend group. We saw him, even you talked about when they were doing the tuxedos and he had his own style and stuff. People were shitting on him regardless. When the strippers came, they was teasing him. Like we would have seen who his character was without Shelby, but we would not have seen who he could have been without Candy.
We didn't see that much of it. I mean, we didn't see too many scenes with him and her.
Remember him in the car?
Yeah, I remember that, but
yeah.
I feel like we can see a change in his character without him having to get with a stripper chick. We didn't need, because we saw how he was with Shelby. He could easily tell Shelby off and say it's over without having another woman. That's why she's more important than the Candice.
This is
because he can say it's done, Shelby. I'm done with you. Blah 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 blah. We're not meant to be together. We're over forever. Bye. And that's him standing up for himself for sure, without him getting with Candy.
I love the actress who plays Shelby, but it's still Shelby for me, 100%. Okay. Least valuable.
Driving up here, my LVP was going to be Robin. It was going to be Sanaa Lathan. Because of some things that you guys are helping me work through. And I'm very appreciative of that.
Right. Oh, your Sanaa Lathan hate.
Yeah.
The hash brown thing.
Yeah. Now I'm going to order some hash browns tomorrow. I'm going to try to, you guys open my eyes. You expanded my margins a little bit. So I think I'm going to change my vote. I think it probably is Candy. Okay. She's probably the LVP. Yeah. She's probably the one.
She's valuable. I love the character.
Essential to the overall narrative.
In her defense,
maybe
she's still because it's not
a perfect movie, like you said. Like it's.
I don't think that song would have been as popular.
Oh no,
if
no,
Regina
of course
Hall.
not.
Can we talk about that? Like that would not have hit the way that it hit.
When she put her finger in her mouth. Nigga, I was in college like that. She's the sexiest thing in the world, bro. Yeah. Good Lord, my nigga.
But it's true. Like as I think about it, every now and then there's a film, and this is one of those films where all the characters are pulling in the right direction, and each of them is really kind of essential. Like if you're forcing me to choose, then
that's what I'm saying.
Then maybe like I pick Candy, but she's incredibly valuable to Murch, right? Like and thus the impact that happens to Shelby and Quentin. So like she has ripple effects within the story.
She shined in those few scenes she was in. She shined.
She's an excellent actress.
She shined. So Shelby I would want to see more. This character Candy, played by Regina Hall. I would want to see Regina Hall more now, based off that character.
Who gets the award for overacting?
Ooh, overacting. There is times where if I had to pick one, Morris Chestnut when he was emoting, like, but it was good. I still rock with Morris. But if I had to choose overacting, I think when you're drunk, there's no too drunk.
Yeah. I was gonna say Taye Diggs when he was drunk.
I don't think it's. I think he was. I might knock her back, blow her back out. Yeah. That sound. I know. I've seen some of these drunk people.
Taye Diggs is a really bad drunk. He really does a bad drunk. Like as an actor, he was a bad drunk in The Wood. He was a bad drunk in this movie. Like,
oh, you know what? I'm mixing it up. I was thinking about him being drunk in The Wood. That's what I was just thinking about.
That's how bad he was. But he was also drunk in this one. Like right before he was getting ready to leave to go to Jordan's house to smash. Right?
Yeah, he played it the same way.
Yeah, like this, like over the top.
Good drunk then.
To me,
so bad in the wood.
The overacting, to me, Shelby gets the overacting award for me.
Oh, when she's
yeah,
put glasses on, I'm watching you.
Yeah, it's just like as much as she's a believable character, it was a little caricature-ish.
It was
right, like a little bit of cartoonish in terms of the eye rolling and the pity and the panting and all of that. So yeah,
can you just she was alive?
Can you just stay with me tonight?
A little bit most.
Right.
Do you really have to be with all of your boys all night? Like all night, sweetheart? What was she calling him? Murchie, or what was the nickname?
What was the nickname that she was calling him?
It was some ridiculous shit. It was something ridiculous. I can't remember.
I'm very interested to see what has happened with her character. Before we go to the fist, because I think it should be I think the fist will come quick. But projecting to the future, going beyond what we've seen in the sequel to the series, which characters are you most interested in revisiting in this series? Like, who are you most curious
Candy and
about
Murchie?
Getting an update on?
That's the newest relationship, Candy and Murchie.
I'm more interested in Shelby and Q.
And how that panned out.
I'm interested in how that
Well, I was
going
to say that first, but that's like the obvious because he's probably the most interesting character to me.
And then, okay, this is gonna sound fucked up. I'm interested to see if Morris Chestnut's character remarries because she's been killed out, of the actual series itself. So
it's really I'm
interested in that.
And what I love about it is that it's a mini series, which means that we're going to get 10 mini movies. We're going to get more time with these characters in the series than we've gotten on screen thus far.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm really curious about that. I think
unpack a lot of the character development.
I wonder what bitch ass Harper is into. You know what I mean? Because somebody's got to play the foil, right? Yeah. Somebody has to be the antagonist for this series. And it seems if it stays true to form, it's going to be Harper. Right? It's going to be Harper. He's going to be
good at
the one to F it up.
Who do y'all think would be great as a recast
we didn't do the recast.
For the wife of Lance in this upcoming miniseries? I don't know if they've released any of the actresses. I haven't looked. I don't want to know. I want to be surprised. But if they do recast,
what do you mean recast?
Well, not recast. I'm sorry. If they do cast him with a new
love interest,
who do y'all think it might be? Who would y'all want to see?
I'm going to bring it up because there's an actress that I have right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of her name. So I
feel like I know who it is. Is it the girl who was in Diary of a Mad Black Woman?
Oh,
not her.
Elise.
Kimberly Elise.
Kimberly Elise. Yeah, I feel like she would be good.
And she's a good Kimberly Elise would be good.
Yeah.
The one that I'm looking for. Hold on, I'm going to bring it up. You do yours, Ja.
I'm just curious.
Dang.
There's so many amazing black actresses that could kill it.
Black actresses of that era. Bringing them back. Shoot. We always have a tough time recasting because not Taraji. That's a easy.
That would be very easy, but kind of.
But
cool.
she will fit in though. She's fit in for sure.
She would fit in really well. Wait, no, I don't think Taraji and Nia get along in real life.
Oh.
Megan is kind of too hot.
She's too young.
Yeah, I wouldn't want...
That would be interesting, though, for her to be much younger.
She's younger. Yeah, these women are... I said she's too young. She's like 39, 40.
Yeah.
These people are 50.
They're in their 50s. But that would be a cool twist.
Unless you made her younger, you know what I'm saying? And she is... You said she's too hot. Yeah, I get it. I'm not mad. Why not? I think she'll fit. Acting wise, she'll fit in.
Did you guys watch Black Mirror at all?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So,
are you about to say who I think you about to say?
She probably,
I'm a guess. I love her. Nicole Bahari.
Yes.
I love her. Yep. She's so good. Nicole Bahari is if you watch Black Mirror, she was in Snapping Vipers or something Vipers. Snapping Vipers, I think.
Yeah. Here she is right here.
She's so good. I know exactly what she looked like. That's my girl. I love that woman.
See, like for me, and we'll throw this in the socials.
How old is she?
She's got all of the like that class and regal nature that Mia has.
Regal.
She's British.
I don't think
she's
is.
American.
Yeah.
You know how they know.
Oh, she's so good.
She's good. Like that would be a good.
That would be good.
She'd be great to cast in that.
Yeah.
Because she's pretty. She's elegant. she's like all of the Mia, and you would it wouldn't be true to form for Lance to fall in love with someone that is dramatically different than Mia. It wouldn't make sense for its character.
But it would create a lot of tension.
Could create a lot of tension.
It would make sense for his character, considering he was fucking with a lot of people before he started dealing with her.
At this point, he would be, Okay.
So...
I love Nicole Bahari. Yeah. That's such a good high five on that choice. High five.
Yeah, Redemption
That's a
Tour.
Good one.
That's
shocking.
Redemption Tour starts now.
Yes, you get a redemption for the 4 fists that you gave Brown Sugar last time.
Only reason why I have a problem with your 4 fists is basically how you ripped it apart, but you gave it the 4 fists.
Yeah,
the 4 fists is
but
it's like
sense. But it's certain things that like hot links, right? Right? Like hot links. Hot links are bad for me. Right? I don't digest hot links well.
Okay.
But they're fucking delicious.
They are.
They're great.
And I eat them anyway, right?
Especially if you burn them.
This movie is not very good for me.
Yeah.
But there's certain parts of it that I like enough that like I still fuck with it despite the fact that it's not very good.
Yeah.
That's how I get to the 4 fists for Brown Sugar.
There's so many good things about this movie, about Brown Sugar. We keep bringing that back. Only because we agree, we disagree on this so much.
Yeah.
That's why we keep bringing it up. But Brown Sugar was savage.
Can we do the fists for the best man?
Because it's so good. It's so good.
I'm giving it a 5.
Yeah.
5 fists.
Easy.
Same.
Easy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Malcolm D. Lee, for this beautiful, beautiful movie. You're amazing. Truly.
You know,
it was dope.
After what we did with Brown Sugar, you know, I didn't know that this was going to happen. But I can tell you guys right now, y'all dissected the hell out of the best man.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
For sure.
Nicely done.
That's what we here for, man.
Yeah.
That's what we here for.
And so did you. You was breaking it down.
Nah, man. Like, so what's funny is that all my takes were like you guys threw water on all my takes, right? Like I had too much Sanaa hate in me, so I was prepared to do work there, and I really thought I was going to win the case with like Q being the worst person in the film,
and he ended up being the best.
Like
I agree.
I thought Harper was the worst person. I still believe he's the worst person. And we had a healthy debate about that. But Jordan, I had Q number 2.
Oh nah.
And you guys blew that up. So
and one thing you guys mentioned Lance being Captain Hypocrite.
Yeah.
Real quick. He was. Remember he was trying to encourage the nigga Harper to smash Jordan.
Yes.
He was.
The day before his girl was showing in town.
Captain Hypocrite.
Now, for you to be that upset, he should be super upset that that his girl smashed his best friend.
Yeah.
But like, bro, that's you don't encourage the homie to cheat on this girl.
It was smart.
But again, it goes back to what we all agreed upon earlier, which is he was literally looking at his marriage to Mia to be the end of an era.
Right.
So, but up until that point, it's still we fuck bitches. That's what we do.
Right.
But also on a deeper level, how many people try to live vicariously through their friends when those options are off the table for them? If he's convincing his friend, no, do that shit. He want to hear about those stories when that breakup happens or whatever the case may be. Like, I don't get new pussy no more. But if my homeboy do, maybe I can.
Not the involved homie. The single homie. Yeah. Nigga, so what was it like, nigga?
That guy
nasty, nigga.
That guy, the married man that's still cheating on his wife is kind of like not the cool kid at the table anymore.
Nigga's a weirdo.
Yeah, nobody's really fucking with him. Like, like you don't get any gold stars for fucking around on your wife. Like,
because people are healing. People are healing now. It's not cute, it's not funny, it's not impressive. It's easy to do.
Right.
That's leave. I would advise my homie to leave
before all that.
Before I would
because that's a bad look for you. Because now,
I mean, it don't have nothing to do with me, but what it does is that it throws our friendship in flux.
Yeah. Because
you know what I mean? Like
you're gonna ask yourself, can I be cool with somebody who lacks integrity?
Yeah.
Right.
Like I can't do that. If you gonna fuck
ain't
over
gonna be
your
in my
wife,
family, you gonna come over.
Well, that's not. That's the crazy thing about it. a lot of times that don't translate.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas
Really?
be a great homies, loyal, super dependable homeboys, and be trash to their women.
Yeah.
Which is
Because
whack.
they hate women.
Huh?
Sometimes they be hating women.
Yeah, that might be true.
They be hating women.
You know what I'm saying? But like those guys that be loyal to their homies for 40, 50 years and be treating their woman, be disloyal to their woman. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't always... before we get off this, I want to ask the people, based off the movie The Best Man, if you haven't watched it, please go watch it right now. Ask yourself this. Answer this. Would you forgive your woman if you found out the day before your wedding that she slept with your best friend? With under the circumstances that you knew that she forgave you dozens of times or several times when you cheated on her. When you cheated on her, she forgave you. You find out.
And it happened 20 years ago.
It happened 20 years ago. Do y'all forgive your lady? Answer that in the comments. This was another episode of BlackBusters. I'm your host, Bigg Jah, with my co-host, Brother Tone, Big Tone. Woo. And we brought her back, and she came back with the business again, the breakdowns, the character arc breakdowns, and all that. Jada Fade, thank you once again for showing up and doing your thing.
Absolutely.
Big Fade, as they
Big
say.
Fade.
You know?
You know what I'm saying? Big Fade.
I'm about to have a rap career. So follow me on all my socials at Jay the Fade, because I'm going to be Big Fade, like Big Lotto and Big Stallion.
Hey, why not?
Maybe she don't call herself Big Stallion. That sounds weird.
But I like Big Fade. That's
Big Fade. I love Big Fade.
That's
Big
dope.
Fade.
That works.
Yeah. We love it. We do it.
Should I drop a bar now?
Drop a bar if you're going to drop a bar. Hell yeah.
Yo. That was it.
Oh, that's the bar.
Drop the ring. Got marriage on the menu.
Got marriage on the menu. You know what I'm saying? Hilarious. Thank y'all for tuning in. Catch us next time on BlackBusters, and we out of this bitch. To the max.
BlackBusters.